Before I begin what I have to say, I want to make something very clear. Don't come saying this is hate toward Jimin. I don't feel hate toward him or anyone, there's no room for hate in my heart. But it's also true that people can't turn a blind eye or pretend they didn't see anything. The truth was right there in front of everyone, and while many want to ignore it, the obvious can't be hidden. Yesterday at the airport, when Jimin left for London, something was noticeable that caught my attention: the presence of an excessive security presence. When you walk with your head held high, fearless, and with a firm step, it's because you have nothing to hide. But when you walk with your head down, surrounded by bodyguards and conveying nervousness, what you project is fear and desperation. That was exactly what I saw in Jimin yesterday. I saw him with a different air, not only because of the excessive security, but also because his physical appearance was noticeably thinner than on other occasions. That detail, although it may seem small, says much more than you think. Now, if we look at what's happened with TAEHYUNG and Jungkook, the difference is evident. Both have been exposed to dating rumors for years, especially TAEHYUNG, who even had rumors fabricated about him for the sole purpose of diverting attention from other members. Jungkook, for his part, was constantly subjected to fan service, something that was long used as a tool to fuel the industry and please fans. However, despite everything that's been said about them, they continued with their lives normally, without any fearful attitudes or signs of having anything to hide. The curious thing is that despite the serious situations they faced, the company never deployed the same level of security to protect them as it did with Jimin. It's enough to remember that on one occasion, a girl tried to enter the elevator in TAEHYUNG's building when he was returning to Korea from Paris, an incident that could have ended very badly. And even more serious, two girls attempted to force their way into Jungkook's new home, a very serious act that directly threatened his safety and privacy. Despite these incidents, at none of those times was there such an exaggerated deployment of security personnel as the one that accompanied Jimin at the airport. All of this leaves a clear impression: the company has its favorites, and it shows in the way it handles these situations. This isn't about hatred or a harmful comparison, but rather about highlighting the very visible differences that, while some may want to deny them, are there for everyone to see. And what's most intriguing is the question that lingers in the air: why such a marked difference in protection and treatment between the two? I was browsing TikTok when this video suddenly appeared, making me stop in my tracks. Just look at these Taekook babies, so adorable, so shy, and with an energy that's impossible to ignore. From the first moment, you can see how difficult it is for them to hide their feelings, that vulnerability that betrays them in every gesture, every glance, every slightest reaction. While the other members naturally displayed their flirting and kissing skills, laughing confidently and without hesitation, these two lovebirds seem to be facing a challenge much bigger than a simple game, fighting the urge to bear what they feel. And that's where the magic begins to reveal itself. Jungkook, so nervous, found no better refuge than biting his lips, as if that action could contain the wave of emotions that ran through him. That simple, seemingly small gesture spoke volumes. Who could bite their lips like that without trying to hide something much deeper? TAEHYUNG, for his part, had to try twice, taking a deep breath and concentrating with all his might to avoid getting lost in Jungkook's eyes, to avoid letting out the truth his heart was screaming. That internal struggle was felt in every movement, as if every second around him was a delicate balance between confession and silence. The tension between them was so strong that it's no exaggeration to say that even the air felt frozen. It could be cut with a knife, so dense, so charged with electricity that anyone who looked at them could feel it on their skin. It's a tension that doesn't arise from nowhere, nor is it easily built. It's only possible between two people who love each other, who desire each other, and who try, with all their might, to disguise what is impossible to hide. And this struggle to keep up appearances only betrays them, because Taekook's passion and feelings are too deep to remain buried. That shyness they share, those smiles that escape unintentionally, and those eyes that search for each other and betray each other are the clearest proof of how much they are in love. No matter how hard they tried to appear calm, they had to break eye contact because it was too intense, too revealing. Taehyung, with an almost visible effort, forced himself to try again, to hold their gaze even though he knew he risked exposing his truth. And Jungkook, completely lost in that whirlwind of emotions, only confirmed with each expression that nothing could hide how much he feels. Time has passed, the years have flown by, but there is one thing that remains intact, that love that never fades, that never wears out, that actually intensifies with each moment shared. Nothing has changed, except the fact that desire and passion grow relentlessly, day after day, glance after glance. Because every moment Taehyung and Jungkook lock eyes, every shy smile, every meaningful silence only reaffirms that they are more in love than ever. And the most fascinating thing is that this connection needs no words. A gesture, a glance, an accidental touch is enough for the whole world to realize that there is something so strong and so true between them that it's impossible to hide. One of the most fascinating things about Taehyung and Jungkook's relationship is the way they repeat certain gestures over and over again. These aren't just random actions, they're patterns that emerge naturally and always appear when they're close to each other, as if their bodies and emotions had memories of their own. These kinds of gestures not only denote closeness, but also a mutual understanding that goes beyond words, a silent language that only they can read and understand. Every touch, every glance, and every tilt of the head reveals a deep connection, and each repetition reinforces that seemingly unbreakable bond. Observing these details, one can't help but wonder what other secrets lie behind each shared gesture, and how each small act can be a reflection of a love that grows stronger over time. Taekook's romantic gestures are particularly evident and manifest themselves naturally and uninhibitedly, touching each other without fear, settling into each other, searching for each other with their gaze as if the entire world were disappearing around them. All of this has been captured countless times, and it always feels authentic, never awkward or forced, as if every movement is an extension of their mutual affection. This repetition of gestures not only strengthens the idea of closeness, but also establishes a kind of emotional routine that feels safe and comforting. One can't help but wonder how these small, seemingly simple habits manage to keep the spark of connection between them alive, even amidst the chaos of everyday life. Time has passed, the years have passed, and shared experiences have accumulated, but one thing remains unchanged, that love that never fades, that never wears out, but rather intensifies with each shared moment. Nothing has changed in the essence of their bond, except that the passion and desire seem to grow day after day, glance after glance, gesture after gesture. Every moment Taehyung and Jungkook lock eyes, every shy smile, every meaningful silence, reaffirms that their connection deepens with each shared experience. It's as if time, far from diluting their love, strengthens it, making it clear that what they share isn't fleeting, but enduring and constantly evolving. What other small, barely perceptible signs could be hidden in their daily routine that further reveal their connection? Taehyung and Jungkook don't just understand each other through gestures, their communication transcends the physical and becomes almost spiritual. They hold hands, massage each other, gaze calmly, and care for each other in every small step, demonstrating that their connection is complete, both emotionally and physically. These intimate and delicate moments aren't observed among other members of the group, which makes their relationship unique and especially visible when you pay attention to the details. The way they support, comfort, and energize each other in everyday moments reflects a silent and constant commitment, a dedication that needs no words to be understood. And the inevitable question arises, what other small, seemingly trivial actions hide profound meanings that only they understand? The most fascinating thing is that these gestures occur both in public and in private, revealing that their closeness doesn't depend on the context but is a constant in their relationship. There are videos where they are seen preparing before a concert, and in them, the same connection is felt as in their more private moments, one giving the other energy, calming them down, speaking in a low voice, making sure they feel ready to go on stage.